So I just read that Manny Pacquiao explains his lack of KO power at the welterweight division. So I just thought I'd compare it to Floyd, not their record, just their size. Because Floyd is considered the best, to many, for whatever reason, the best welterweight of all time, or at least of this era. So Manny stated today that he believes his lack of KO power is because he is a natural 140 pounder. And he further states with some sacrifice, he can make 135 pounds. Looking at the pictures, it shows that Manny is much smaller than Floyd, who claims that he is a natural 147 pounder. We all know Floyd could not make weight against Marquez. And I believe they fought at a catch weight of 144. Floyd May came in at 143. But anyway, I believe the catch weight was at 144. Then when he jumped up, he made Canelo fight at 152. So obviously he believes his best weight is at 147 at the welterweight limit. Anyways, if Floyd is a true welterweight, you can easily tell the huge size difference between Manny and Floyd. Just by looking at them, you can tell Manny is much smaller, and it's easy for me to believe that Manny can make 140 or even 135. Now, the obvious argument would be that Floyd is huge for the welterweight, and that is why he completely drains himself out and uses an IV to rehydrate after the weigh-in. Or it can be said that Floyd uses the IV to mask performance-enhancing drugs. But whichever way you look at it, in his most recent fight against Manny Pacquiao, he was caught using an IV to either rehydrate or mask as a masking agent. But nevertheless, back to Pacquiao. Just by looking at the guy, you can tell that he's very small for the welterweight division. Apparently, he eats on the day of the weigh-ins and he doesn't do a lot to cut weight. And he still comes in at about 145 pounds or so. For years, Freddie has said Manny is a true 140 pounder, but moved up to 147 for the big fights, for the big De La Hoya fight actually. And after that point, the money fights kept coming in at welterweight and even some at super welterweight. So it should be common knowledge that if Pacquiao stayed at 140 or even 135 pounds, he would be untouchable. Now you can say Marquez could have beat him, but Marquez didn't seem to get that Superman punch until he linked up with Memo Heredia and brought him into his fight camp. So anyway, Pacquiao could have dominated at 140 or 135 pound, but he went after the money and the legacy. No one has ever been, or maybe no one ever will be, an 8 division champion. To me, it's a good trade-off. You lose some KO power, but you make an almost untouchable historic accomplishment by winning titles in 8 different weight classes. Again, in comparison to Mayweather, who many claim is the best ever, he obviously found or made the big money fights at the lowest possible weight for him to weigh in at. Again, it's 147. He could not make 140 in recent history. He missed weight. So he stayed at the lowest possible weight where he could perform great at. And again, he may have even had to use a rehydration system to bring himself back up to his fight weight, weighing at fight night. So maybe Mayweather always IV rehydrates, or maybe he just did it for that one time when he was caught against Manny Pacquiao. But either way, they both made history in their own way. Floyd remained undefeated for his career, and Manny climbed through 8 divisions and gained a title in each of those divisions. Now, if Floyd would have tried to break through and win in 8 divisions, he probably would have taken some losses. I mean, that would be what, 160, 168, 175? Can you imagine fighting Kovalev? So there is also the steroid allegations. Some people think Manny lost his KO power because he's not on the juice. But if that were the case, wouldn't his body have shriveled up and he'd be back at 130, 135 anyway, fighting at 130, 135, whatever. I have no idea. Maybe he took him, maybe he didn't. But you can only assume against Mayweather, if he was taking anything, they would have caught him. I think they were over there. USADA was over there every day drawing his blood. But anyway, no one's been able to come up with proof. So I'm not going to say he's on steroids with no proof. Another reason that it may be easy for Manny to drop to 140 or even 135 is that I have never seen him let his body go or let himself get out of shape. You see some guys after the fight, they blow up 30 pounds of pretty much fat. So they have to cut that fat in addition to doing a regular cut. Seems like Manny's always in shape. He would just have to drop some water weight. And keep in mind, Manny is not draining himself to make 147 or 145. So I think he could easily make 140. Like he said himself, maybe with sacrifice 135. So it doesn't take much to see that Manny is very small at welterweight. If anyone has near 20/20 vision, you can see the guy is smaller than most of the people he faces at welterweight. So the loss of KO power could be attributed to his age, his opponents being overly cautious, not wanting to exchange with him, or that he was just more destructive at 140, 135 pounds. I mean, he still has power. Knocked down Algieri 6 times, stunned Mayweather, but who knows? In any event, I've just seen a lot of people were thinking that Manny could not make 140 or even 135. To me, it seems like it'd be an easy cut. You might have to put some strategy behind it. Let me know what you guys think. Talk to you guys later.